Hello. So I decided I was going to talk. I talk a lot about philosophy and other rant stuff that I find interesting. Oklahoma beat Tennessee. I wasn't surprised nor unsurprised. I was kind of under the influence that maybe I was going to be unlucky, but you know what? I was proved wrong. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. That's all great. I actually didn't keep track of my. I need to check my fantasy team as of right now. I haven't. It's dry beaters. But there's a lot of shit I need to do because I know I'm political. I'm politically active. I follow politics, and I am. And that's like that's kind of crazy considering I'm just a 16-year-old bum who sits there and does nothing all day. There's all kinds of things I need to do. I need to listen to the new Megadeth album. I need to watch the new Peacemaker show. I heard Megadeth didn't cover on one of Metallica's songs, so maybe that solves the beef there. But I don't know. I'm just kind of sitting around wondering why Skyrim has a better anti-piracy system than Cyberpunk, which is crazy to me. So I decided I was going to talk about my political view because I've been maintaining a lot of political anonymity. I don't know how to pronounce it on this app whenever I make videos. But I'm just going to state my political ideology. I'm an anti-authoritarian. Do not agree with elitism or oligarchies or supremism. I don't fuck with any of it. All right. I think I think so. I think the entire idea of us only being a two-party state majorly is retarded, and it hurts America, and it breeds authoritarian bullshit. Um, I identify a lot with libertarians as well, so I guess to be more mainstream and party-wise, I identify with libertarians. But I am a left wing, even though pure libertarianism is like very surface right wing, and anti-authoritarianism, if you're not familiar with if you haven't studied the political compass anytime recently, is surface, very surface level, still not unsolved power vacuum like anarchism level, but it is pretty it's pretty anti-government, but it's not obsolete government or absent government. It's around the same area as libertarianism. Maybe libertarianism is a little more authoritarian in a purest way, but I still believe there should be other funding for the government. I kind of believe in public schooling and all that. I would say Israel doesn't have any influence on anything in America. Israel is a great country. We love Israel here. I love the Talmud. I love. And I'm not. That's not. And I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I mean, I'm not theistically religious. I am philosophically a pagan, Celtic more or less. But I also follow some Nordic shit as well. Lots of ethnic pride. But uh, I I believe genocide in Palestine is wrong, but really, if you reverse the roles, Palestine would be doing the same thing to Israel. Neither side is right. They're both crazy. The only reason I really care is because there's children and women being starved. I guess there's innocent family men too, but it's really, they're all like I don't want to sound racist and say savages, but I think the culture breeds savages. So, there's the political question. There's no such thing as savages or primitive societies, just different cultures. I'm like, no, there totally is. Uh, Pure Reformed Islam, or I don't know, I forget the name. It's traditional Islam, something like that. They're all animals. Okay, Iraqis, they're all animals, really. Khomeini, he's an animal, like all of them. Um, and I can't speak on Jews because this video is gonna get taken down. But like I said, Jews are innocent. We love Jews here. I'm 5% Jewish, so Ashkenazi specifically. But I'm very anti-authoritarian. Firmly believe the government. I think as long as you are not causing any substantial harm to others, the government shouldn't have a say in what the fuck you do. And I think also, um, and for political branches, I am patriotic. I am very patriotic. I believe the Constitution was built on anti-authoritarian ideologies, saying that. That's also not me saying I'm pro-democracy. I think democracy is a failed system. I do believe in some level of democracy on a very small level, but I think that should be mostly left up to the government to decide. Presidential, and I'd say governors. Maybe you can vote on, but the average American is not. There's so many retards in our country that no, I don't think everyone should be allowed to vote in all honesty, but I think democracy is a failed system. Or if you are going to vote, I do think there needs to be heavy restrictions. And people, and it's yeah. But I'm not an anarchist, not at all. I had to rejuvenate my mouth and throat. I was getting very dry. Um, that's good. But I'm not an anarchist because you come up to any anarchist and ask them, how do you solve the power vacuum? They're just gonna sit there with their dick in their hands and not know what to say. And that even goes for any socialist or capitalist anarchist either. It's no, you do realize you put corporations in that system, they're just gonna become a full on government, or there's gonna be an uprising. Anarchism doesn't work in modern day, not at all. Anarchism does not work in modern day. It might have worked 500 years ago. It's not gonna work today. But I am not that. I believe the government's main point and purpose is to keep the military strong and the judicial branch strong. That's my belief, and that's anti-authoritarian. And I believe everything else the government can do, but keep it to an incredibly comically low level. But I am very adamant on the judicial branch. I think, like I said, if you're causing substantial harm to others, you should be punished severely. Um, and that's not even saying that I think all hard drugs should be legalized either. Again, that's anarchistic. I don't believe in that. But I am very against the government having control. And my uncle makes this argument that, and I agree with him, that your political ideology should be realistic in whatever country or political state your country is in. It should be a realistic way to solve it. I think it's totally realistic, and I do think in some levels there is going to need to be an authoritarian uprising of tyranny in some kind if you want to achieve true anti-authoritarianism and remove the influence of, you know, elitists. But that's where I politically stand. I believe the government needs to get its finger out of my ass, and I'm also very anti-surveillance. I think Palantir is evil, and that's coming from someone who has family who works in Palantir. And I will say I think Palantir is evil scumbag shit. I do not fucking like Palantir. And I think Trump is an authoritarian scumbag. And I mean, Kamala's like not as bad, but it's like even then, I just wouldn't give either of them my vote. They're both dumbasses. They both economically, they're both horrible choices. I believe in a balance in tariff managing, reasonable tariff managing, not like unrealistic like basically tax all tariffs out of our country. I'm not that at all. I think there should be a reasonable taxation to where government production not government production, American production should be possible and achievable, and a way to be profitable in our market. But I also believe we should also keep the market manageable for the average citizen and below, so that way things can be affordable. And I think that also requires some level of tariffs. So I believe economically there should be a balance there. I'm not an economic extremist by any means, not at all. I am very balanced and very fair in what I think in my economic belief. And I'm not a socialist. I believe with capitalism, I believe capitalism should be heavily restricted, because I think you need to avoid monopolies and not government control, but elitist control in capitalism by all means. I am pro-innovation, but I'm a capitalist by definition, but I believe heavily reducing damage from it. And I'm not a socialist. I think socialism is stupid. And I'm not saying you are stupid if you're a socialist. I'm friends with all kinds of people from all over the political spectrum. I know people that I'm friends with people that I think wouldn't even be, that you probably wouldn't even consider being friends with. It's because I don't give a shit. As long as they're not in the office, I don't give a shit. But I think like what was I saying? I remember the point now. My point was, I believe socialism is working under the idea that you assume people are going to work without pay. They're not. People are selfish jackasses. They're not going to work without pay. Every current socialist country, and everyone that's worked in the past 90 years has been based completely dependent on slavery. China depended on slavery. Not the Nazi uprising, depended on slavery. All of it. It's like you can't have socialism will always depend on slavery unless you're pro-slavery, which that's one thing. I mean I personally, I'm probably, like I said, I'm judicially kind of extreme. I believe it's completely fine to enslave. I think there should be felonious individuals. I think that's a classification that is too broad. I think there should be a step above that, and at that point, I think it's completely fair to enslave people. And I'm not going to get like too specific, but I think only the most deplorable of people and deplorable of actions would allow you to be. I think deplorable enough actions to make you less respected than an animal. I think you can enslave them. I'm not pro-racial slavery. I think that's wrong. I think that's stupid. I think that's a normal take. But even then, I'm a capitalist. I'm pro-capitalistic slavery, not socialism. Socialism is stupid because it'll always depend on slavery. Prove me wrong. But yeah.